Welcome to Lesson 5 in the series of how to have fun with hand drums. I want to show you some of the rhythms that we've talked about in earlier lessons, so you may want to go back and review some of the basics, such as keeping the pulse or establishing very basic rhythms. Today, I want to take you one step higher. A couple of lessons back, we talked about the bass, tone, and slap. When I'm teaching beginners, I work in a lot of elementary schools, and you know, you're just not going to be able to teach somebody to play a slap instantly and then be able to make a good difference between the tone and the slap. So when I'm working with young students, most of the time I concentrate on just the bass and the tones, the middle and the edge of the drum. They're going to get a sound difference between the low and a higher sound. The slap takes a lot more technique, and so I want to use a rhythm that is kind of like a passport rhythm in West Africa. This is a cuckoo rhythm is what it's referred to most of the time, and it's actually a fishing rhythm. We talked about how you knew what was going on in the fishing or in the village by listening to the rhythm, and this is one of those rhythms that the fishermen and fisherwomen would play as they returned to the shore. They would call up to the village, "Oh yeah, ite cuckoo fonye," and they're just saying, "Hey, will you play some cuckoo for us?" And so the drummers say, "Oh, we love fish," and they're talking about the celebration of returning with fish. So put a little love in the middle, and I say love when I hit that. And then with the pads of your fingers, remember how we made the open tone position? I want you to say to drum on the edge. And for the first, if you're wanting to get a sound difference, you could clap your hands for the slap, or the slap was the fingertips whipping over the edge. We worked on that in an earlier video, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube. I'd love to give a shout out to World Drum Club, and if you'd like to really dig into more of the basic techniques, you can find those on YouTube. I'm here to keep us moving ahead. So the cuckoo rhythm goes like this. If you can say it, you can play it. Love to drum, I 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 love to drum, slap bass to drum, I love to drum, I love to drum. So I just wanted to play that a little bit longer so that you could hear it. By the way, if you've been hearing the break that I started in the very first video, it's a very popular break, and I'm really communicating through the drum to you. I'm asking a question. Are you ready to play the beat? Or are you ready to play your drum? Now see if you can hear it just through the drum. And so all you have to do is say yes. Let's try that one time. I'll ask you a question and you play it on your drum. Are you ready to play one time? Oh, I heard you hit it just in perfect timing. So that's how we feel where the beat is going. The master Djembe folas, the master drummers in West Africa. This goblet-shaped drum is definitely what we think about as the most popular drum from West Africa. The bowl captures the bass sound, and it compresses it a little bit, and then it amplifies it through the cone. This drum has many stories of origin. It goes back to sometimes how they would pound grain or making fufu. They would use it in a big mortar and pedestal like this. And there's other stories that Djem is a special tree that the drum maker will go out looking for, and Bay means goat in some of the village languages. So traditionally, it's carved out of the trunk of a special tree. They use either goat or cow skin for the head. But we also have synthetic versions of the drum. I've been working, oh, by the way, this drum was made by my friend Shorty Palmer, and he's one of the master drum builders in America. But he imports the shells and the skins, and then he assembles them with his master touch. I've been working with Meinl, particularly the Viva Rhythm line. And I love this drum, mostly because I move drums around a lot. And this drum weighs less than half of what, probably more like a third of what a traditional djembe has. Now this drum is pre-tuned, which means that it doesn't have any type of tuning mechanism. The head comes already sounding great. And just to give you a quick comparison, there's a sound difference. What we hear from synthetic, we call this the vegan version, by the way. So no plants or animals were used in producing this drum. It uses a type of mylar with a special coating for the head that dampens the sound a little bit. And the shell is a resin shell. And so it's a lot lighter. They can be a little bit louder, but we have some options. When I'm playing this as a professional, of course, I would always rather have the best drum that I can play. And there's a lot of different types of drums that you can choose from. I mean, if you Google djembe, you're gonna come up with everything from the little tiny kids drums to, that may be like $40 or $50 to, you know, a professional drum that could run you $700 to $1,000 and even more. It's just like art. Instruments, you get what you pay for. You know, and when you get up to a certain price range, there's also going to be smaller increments. So you may pay a lot more for just a slight improvement in tone quality, or who made it, or what the drum shell, the type of wood that it was made out of, or the quality of skin. The thing that I love about the Meinl and the Viva Rhythm line in particular is that they really do produce some of the highest quality drums that, of all the synthetic drums that I've played, they have a consistent, great sound that at least tips a hat to the traditional drums from around the world. And we'll talk about a few more of those, but and I'll play the Meinl Viva Rhythm, but I'm sitting on another Viva Rhythm, Meinl instrument. This is the Cajon, and in different places around the world where people may not have had access to their favorite hand drums from their culture, they would use shipping boxes, and they would play the box in different places. The bass from the palm of the hand in the center, the fingers make a tone on the edge, or later on, I'll have to tell you this story later, but they started improving the sound of the cajon by putting guitar strings down the inside of the face. And so that gives you that little snare buzz. There are cajons without it. Most of the traditional Peruvian cajons have a woodier sound, but they don't have that snare drum rattle. I like that because it creates drum set in a box. I can get almost all of the sounds that I can out of a whole drum set in just a cajon. In fact, I ask my students sometimes, do you think I can carry my drum set in this little box? And they go, no, the drum sets are huge. But I love taking this if I'm jamming with somebody on an acoustic guitar, maybe a singer-songwriter, or if I just want more of a drum set type sound. The other popular hand drum that I brought to share with you is the conga. Now, this conga was made by Manito Percussion, and Manito sustainably harvests solid trunks of a tree. Now, normally congas were originally made out of barrel stays, but this is made and carved like a djembe, where they carve the shell in one piece. And this particular skin, I wanted to bring something a little bit different to share with you. So we've talked about goat and cow. This is actually camel skin, and this is what it sounds like. So the conga has a great open tone and slap. There are a lot of other sounds that we use for the conga, particularly heel toe. Now would be a good time to maybe take you up one step closer to professional, and let's talk about how we can use a heel toe sound, and we can also dampen the drum and mute the drum in different ways. So heel comes from the back of the hand, and toe is just another word for fingertips. So start off by maybe resting both hands in the center of the drum. And let's match both hands so we keep everything equal. The more things that you can do to equal your hands, think about combing your hair, brushing your teeth, opening the doors, eating. If you do all of that with your dominant hand, I want to challenge you to try that more often with your non-dominant hand. There was a point that a teacher told me that, and I really focused on doing everything with my non-dominant hand as I was learning drum set rudiments. And I really got to a point to where I didn't feel the dominance between my hands anymore. I can't say that I'm ambidextrous. I still put a little more metric accent, a little more emphasis on my dominant hand, but I've spent my whole life trying to balance my hands. So those first rolls and the exercises that we did, remember when we just we tried to relieve some stress at the beginning by doing a really fast roll. If your roll sounds like this, you're not keeping it even. You want that really even. Think about a cat purring. Think about something that you can relate the sound to. If you listen to great drummers, keep those sounds in your mind and always strive to make those sounds on your drum. I don't always make the best sounds that my professional teachers do, but their sounds are always with me. And that's what I'm aiming for whenever I'm playing a drum rhythm, is I'm trying to play like the sounds that I've heard my teachers made. So back to that heel-toe pattern, we'll raise the back of the hands and drop it in for heel, and then lift your fingers for toe. So lift up. Notice that I stay completely in contact. We mentioned that I'm dampening or I'm muting the drum, so I don't want the drum to ring on this. Now earlier we talked about subdivisions in the last lesson. So let's pretend like this subdivision starts at whole notes. Now I realize that would be kind of fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So each note gets 4 beats. Now when I double the time to half notes, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now from there, you have some other options. And I want to introduce some other heel-toe patterns. One of the ways that I use the heel-toe in my solos is I'll switch from playing both together to heel, heel, toe, toe, heel, heel, toe, toe. So I'm playing the same speed right now, but I'm going to double time and it sounds like this. Heel, heel, toe, toe, heel, heel, toe, toe. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So at that point, I'm playing eighth notes. Now if you're good at math, you'll notice our fractions starting to kick in here. And there's one more that I want to share with you. Let's double again to 16th notes, but this time, instead of playing a single on each hand, heel, heel, toe, toe, heel, heel, toe, toe, heel, toe, heel, heel, toe, toe. I'm going to slow it back down to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to do what we would call a double stroke. So I'm going to play heel, toe on one hand, and then heel, toe on the second. Heel, toe, heel, toe. So we're back to the eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now I'm going to double time, double stroke, goes like this. I know, timing is everything, right? So one more time, I'm going to jump right in on the heel toe, heel toe. Now the hardest thing, it's usually not hard to speed up, but it's very hard to slow down. So from here, I'm thinking 16ths, 1E, 1E into 2E into 3E into 4E into 1. Can you count it that fast? 1E into 2E into 3E into 4E into 1E into 2 into 3 into 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back to the eighth notes. Quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll end on a whole note. 3, 4. So When we're putting those subdivisions together, it may not make a lot of sense now. The most important thing is that you do practice these to a metronome, something that keeps time for you. You could also put on your favorite simple music in the background and use that as your metronome, which makes it a little more fun. It also may give you some drumming ideas by hearing what that drummer is playing. As we move into our next set of patterns, I want to show you some of the popular rhythms that you may have heard a drum set player play before, and you can apply those to your hand drums to play along with your favorite music. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring that notification bell because you don't want to miss any of these videos in the series, and that way you can keep up with what I've got going on and we can keep learning together. I'm Jeff Holland. Keep your rhythms going and let's learn how to make a professional sound on your hand drums.